Folks, this week on Dissect That Film, me and the crew are gonna review My Bloody Valentine, baby. Strap in and let's get rocking and rolling.
Flip the switches to maximum amplification as Parker, Dan, and Angela prepare for their operation. With trivia and plot points scrawled across their walls, laughter and debate erupts as the movie's drama calls. The world may call them crazy, minds gone astray, but genius and passion and madness all dance the same way. Now the show begins to rise from its broadcast realm, and you can open your eyes as we dissect that film.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dissect That Film, a podcast that dissects the good, the bad, and the ugly of cinema. I am your host, Brett Parker. Joining me, as always, is my wonderful co-host, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming.
Hello.
And joining us once again to talk about another wonderful holiday film, we have the one, the only, official JoeyC. What's going on, boy?
What's happening? Happy to be here. I'm trying to get scared today. Oh boy, are we gonna get spooked?
Ooh, are we going to get spooked? Are we going to get covered in blood? Are we going to get covered in other bodily fluids? I don't know, but we're about to hop into this thing.
Somebody did.
That's exciting. I hope that happens to me.
Yeah.
When's Valentine's Day? It's coming up soon, right?
It's today.
February?
For everyone listening, this episode is out on Valentine's Day. Whoa!
I gotta wish my Valentine a happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you. I'll see you in the bed later on.
Yeah.
All right.
Don't get him too excited.
Ooh.
Oh.
So yeah, today we are talking about My Bloody Valentine from 2009, or as it was also called, My Bloody Valentine 3D.
Whoa.
It was directed by Patrick Lussier, who, let's see what you've done. Oh yes, he directed all of the Dracula 2000 films.
Oh,
Whoa.
God. That
I covered
explains
that.
so much.
He works with Wes Craven quite a bit. He actually worked as an editor for New Nightmare, which we have talked about on the show before. Vampire in Brooklyn, which is an Eddie Murphy vampire movie that no one ever talks about.
I love that movie. That shit rocks.
And one of his later ones, Red Eye, which had Cillian Murphy and Rachel McAdams. And then he did the first 3 Screams. But as a director, he made his directorial debut with Christopher Walken in The Prophecy 3, The Ascent.
Never seen it.
I don't know how many of those. I think there's like 5 of those movies, but I've not seen a single one. And yeah, he did all the Dracula 2000s. It was literally Dracula 2000, which, if you did not know, Joey, didn't you cover that on Hack the Movies?
I did, and I was hoping that nobody was gonna say like, "Oh, that movie was horrible," because I fucking loved that movie. That movie rocked. That shit was so good.
Have you ever seen the sequels?
Well, we were, I think we're still going to do the sequels, and I had watched them all like in like not one sitting, but one weekend maybe, and they just get progressively worse and worse. I love it. It's the best.
The thing that's always confusing is the fact that the titles are way different. So it's like you have Dracula 2000. I think the next one is like Dracula 2 or something, and then Dracula 3. And I was like, all right, I guess.
Well,
it's
that. With vampires, it's like, how do you, do you really kill them off or whatever? That whole lore. But like with the first one, I'm not going to spoil it, but with the first one ending how it ended, I don't know how they could make a fucking sequel.
Well, I mean, Castlevania nailed it. Like, they know how to do it.
That's a good point.
Just bring it back. It's a horrible.
That's a very good point.
Curse.
Yeah,
you're fucking right.
He also directed the sequel to White Noise that had Michael Keaton. There was a sequel to that movie called White Noise: The Light. I don't think anyone watched that movie, to be honest. I don't think many people watch White Noise.
I've seen it once.
Why wasn't it called White Noise: The Static?
That would have been a better title. That's why no one saw it, because they were like, "What does this mean?"
which is audio related, why would you change it to a visual concept?
I don't know.
You're a
I'm
genius.
overthinking this. I'm overthinking this. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
They should have
dude-
hired
this-
you.
No, God, no. I probably would have. The movie would never would have got made. Like, what's wrong with this? Why the fuck is this man here? Why does he keep asking for sandwiches? Did this guy direct music videos? Because it feels like he directed music videos.
Let's see.
I could see that. I could absolutely see
He was
that.
an editor for a long time. So he actually edited for Doctor Who, some UK shows, which Doctor Who is a UK show, and then he did a lot of work with Wes Craven, like I stated. So I don't see anything here about
Wes Craven.
I don't see anything here about music videos.
So he was an editor for New Nightmare.
He was.
That's a pretty fucking good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, he seems to, like, as far as his editing chops seem good.
We have mentioned him before on the show because he was the writer of the worst Terminator movie, Terminator Genisys.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
The STD.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So the two Dracula sequels were Dracula 2 Ascension and Dracula 3 Legacy. And he also directed a couple episodes, television shows, the Scream TV show, and he directed an episode of the Purge TV show. So yeah, there you go. There's Patrick Lucier's background. Screenplay was done by Todd Farmer, who we've mentioned on the show before, as he was the writer of Jason X back in 2001. He also wrote for The Messengers, which was a Kristen Stewart horror movie that I've not heard anything good about. And then he wrote and directed, or actually he wrote the Nicolas Cage Amber Heard vehicle Drive Angry, which was also directed by Patrick Lucier.
Oh,
yeah,
Interesting.
Yes. He also shows up in this movie, and but we'll wait, and I'll mention which one he is.
I'm excited.
So, as for our cast, we have Jensen Ackles as Tom Hanniger. We have
Fuck that guy.
Chris Carnell, not that Chris. No, that's Chris Cornell. This is Chris Carnell as the miner. Jamie King as Sarah Palmer. Kerr Smith as Sheriff Axel Palmer. Betsy Rue as Irene. Megan Boone as Megan. I love it.
Megan.
Oh, they're just like, we're not even going to give your character a name.
Megan.
Eddie Gathegi as Deputy Martin. Tom Atkins, legendary actor Tom Atkins. Daddy Atkins himself is in this movie.
Yep.
Kevin Teicht as Ben Foley. Karen Baum as Deputy Ferris. And wait, we have the last one here. Richard John Walters as Harry Warden / the Miner.
Ah,
so I guess there's two actors who played the Miner.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Really? Why?
I don't know. So this would be the first remake to star a supernatural, a lead in the Supernatural series, as Jensen Ackles was in this, which came out January 16th, 2009, because February 13th, 2009, the Friday the 13th remake would come out starring Jared Padalecki, the other lead to Supernatural.
Huh.
Yeah. So it was
it's been a popular show.
Yeah.
The other Dean.
After this movie came out, there was an episode of Supernatural called My Bloody Valentine.
Interesting.
Don't know what it was about, but there was.
I hope it had nothing to do with the holiday. It was just an ironic name. Like,
yeah.
It's actually like St. Patrick's Day.
I've never seen Supernatural, so I have no clue.
I haven't either. So,
Here, have you seen it?
Like 2 seasons.
Okay, no, I'm just asking.
Isn't there like 15 or 16 seasons? Of that
Yeah,
show?
there's a bunch.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's insane. The music was done by Michael Wandmacher. He did music for Piranha 3D, Punisher Warzone, some video games, Bloodborne, Twisted Metal. It's some for the show The Goldbergs. And he worked on music for Underworld Blood Wars, which was the latest entry in the Underworld series.
How many
Never
are
played
there?
it.
There is 5 of them.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So yeah, as I stated, this was released January 16th, 2009. It had a runtime of 1 hour and 41 minutes. It had a budget of $14 million and made $100.7 million at the box office. So not too shabby.
That's a pretty small budget, to be honest with you.
14 mil? Absolutely.
Yeah.
It is. So this was the first horror movie, R-rated movie, to be released fully in 3D.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What about the ones before this in the 80s? Does that not count?
So like it
Or
was
that's not fully 3D.
just the technology, like I guess it was like Real D, that Real D 3D or whatever they use now. It was like the first one to be released using that technology. So yeah, because it doesn't make any sense because all those 3D movies in the 80s were made specifically for 3D.
Yeah, I think it's just using that specific technology, not just 3D in general.
Right. Yeah.
They're full of shit. Whoever made that note, you're fired.
Yeah.
You're done.
This movie was filmed all in Pennsylvania, mostly in Pittsburgh and surrounding areas, just because there was a lot of it because of all the old steel mills and all that. It really gives that vibe that we get throughout this movie. So it was a good spot to do it. Yeah, there's really not a crazy amount of behind the scenes stuff. I didn't really watch any behind the scenes documentaries or anything on this thing. It was kind of cut and dry. It doesn't really have like that really in-depth history like the original had, which we talked about last year. So I think it's time to do what we do best, or at least what we think we do best. And that is break down the plot of 2009's My Bloody Valentine. So are we ready?
I'm scared.
It's time to strap in, buckle up, tighten her up. Oh, because it is time to dissect
that
film.
I'm scared.
So the movie starts at the movie really starts with newspaper clippings being flown at our faces, talking about an incident at the Hanager mine, and how there was a collapse in the mine, and then they found that this one guy, Harry Warden, ended up killing a bunch of the survivors that were in there. So he ended up being like the only survivor. It's all this like really like high res 4K, just newspapers just flying at your face. And you have, it's kind of like the Harry Potter scenes where, you know, where they're reading like the newspaper and the pictures are alive. You kind of get that.
It's exactly what it, yeah, for sure.
I was just waiting for a picture of like Harry Warden with like an arm in his mouth, like he's eating someone. Cause that's kind of how it was in the original.
No.
So yeah, now we're at the hospital, and
hello, hospital.
Harry Warden is what?
I said hello, hospital. I'm just adding to the conversation.
Okay. Oh.
So yeah, you said I'm at the hospital. I'm like, you're at the hospital? What do you mean? Are you all right?
Well, hold on.
I'm recording this episode in a hospital.
Well, no. Folks across the pond would say at hospital. There's no the.
Oh.
At hospital.
Okay.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. 100% fact.
Huh.
So somebody from England land will chime in and surely tell us we're right.
Okay.
Please let us know. Yeah.
Yes.
So Harry Warden is in a coma, and he is about to get checked out, and he wakes up. The nurse walks in, finds him sitting in the bed of the guy who was chilling next to him, and then he just goes on a killing spree, like wipes out the entire wing of the hospital. And
say the least.
My favorite thing is, so Tom Atkins shows up with his deputy guy, and Tom Atkins,
old guy.
It's deputy old guy. I had to look him up. I was like, maybe this is like, did they bring someone back from the original to be like the deputy? Because you know how they do that sometimes. In these
that's true.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, yeah, remember that guy who was in the original? We're gonna put him in an old man part. No, none of the original cast was in this movie. But
doesn't bring back the guy's mustache.
No.
Who was that character's name? The cool, heavier set dude had the awesome mustache. I should have brought that mustache back.
I know.
That was fucking sweet.
He was the best. He was so nice.
Oh, I know where that mustache was. It was between that girl's legs later in the movie. Go ahead.
Boy, we'll get there.
Yeah.
Oh boy, will we.
So my favorite thing is that Tom Atkins shows up with his deputy, and what the fuck is this conversation? They're looking around. There is blood and carnage everywhere. You literally walk to a room. It's a torso on a bed, and then the legs are on the floor. And the first thing my son goes is, "Why are the legs on the floor?" I was like, well, that man got split in half.
Somewhere.
He doesn't need those legs. He'll be fine.
There's just body parts everywhere. And he goes, "What happened here?" And the deputy goes, "It was Harry Warden." And Tom Atkins looks at him. He goes, "Harry Warden's in a coma." And the guy just goes, "Well, I guess he woke up." And I went, what? What is this conversation?
Well, like Tom Atkins, though you can see he's visibly like shocked by what happens, it seems a lot chiller than I think he should be in this scene.
casually walking through.
Yeah, so it's, Like, I understand they found like one body, like they like suffocated a guy. No, there's body parts everywhere. And the bed that Harry Warden was in a coma is empty, by the way. So like clearly you just walk over there and be like, well, I think it was Harry Warden because his body ain't here anymore.
Just Harry Warden was here written on the wall.
And then we get the callback to the original where they find the heart-shaped box with the heart inside. So we're now at a party at Tunnel 5, which is where the incident happened.
Mambo number 5.
Yeah.
Weird place to have a party.
Angela was so excited about saying that joke.
I'm sorry.
You ruined it.
No, I knew he was going to say it.
What were you going to say? Were you saying that too? Fuck!
Because we sang it the whole time.
And then like
every time every time it showed up.
Could not hear it, dude. You're going to watch it's like Tunnel number 5.
Well, there's a party going on at Tunnel number 5, and I don't know how you're having
True.
This incident, by the way, I think happened. It wasn't that long after, right? Because how long was?
I thought it was a year after.
Was it a year? Okay.
Yeah.
Because then it's like 10 years after that, or whatever, that we continue the story.
I didn't even get the year. I just thought he was just the same night. He just woke the fuck up. Like, let's go murder some bitches.
I think it says it outside the hospital room. It says like 1 year later, and so there's the whole thing of like Harry Warden was in a coma for a year. But yeah, they're having the party there. And to be honest, if I'm Jensen Ackles' character, if I'm Tom, I'm not going to the mine. I'm not going there. Like, it's just, I'm like, I understand my dad owns this place and that's cool, but like bad shit just happened there. Like a year is still not that far away. All right. So why don't we have a party somewhere else?
Literally anywhere else.
Anywhere else.
Why in the mine? Like, they know it's clearly dangerous. This is very smart.
And these 30-year-olds are playing like 17-year-olds. It's like
God. So yeah, that's when we meet Axel, who, boy, they just found that guy, the perfect person to play Axel in this one. Also in the original, Axel was the douchebag friend who in the original was the killer. Spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the original My Bloody Valentine. He's played by Kerr Smith, who is in another big horror franchise. He was in Final Destination.
Motherfucker was
Carter.
Creek.
He was Carter. Yeah, he was in Dawson's Creek. He was in Dawson's Creek with Jensen Ackles.
Fuck.
Yeah. And also, Angela, didn't you say that Jensen Ackles was in Gilmore Girls? Or was that Jared Padalecki?
Jared
Padalecki. He's Dean in that.
Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, Tom is very hesitant about going in the mine. Don't blame him. Probably would have gone home. Love his Bronco, by the way. His Bronco
fucking sweet.
rules, man. I want that so bad. I'm glad that when Ford decided to redo the Bronco, that they actually kind of modeled it off of that model, which
like
is nice.
The new ones you're saying?
The newer Broncos are modeled after this model Bronco.
I wish they were small like that, but they can't do cars like that anymore. It sucks.
Yeah.
65 to 77. That's how long they built the first ones. They're so sweet as fuck.
Yeah. So they go in there and then things start happening. You hear screaming from inside the mine. They go in there and we get our first kill, which is an eye shot in 3D, which is kind of a homage to Friday the 13th, part 3.
Yep.
Where we get the eye gouge. I was thinking of Tony at this moment because he loves eye gouge scenes or just eye scenes, period.
He would have passed out, in fact. And when I saw that, I jumped off the couch. I was like, what the fuck am I didn't even know, like, because I haven't seen the original since like high school. I'm like, how good is this going to be? And when I saw that, I was like, yep, that's what I'm in for.
Oh, yeah. And so people are dying. You have Axel and his girlfriend. I don't know who his girlfriend was at this moment.
Irene.
This was Irene? Okay. I thought so. So they're hiding, and you have the guy wandering around in the miner outfit, and I just love the dude who's just like, hey, Jason. They just wanted to say Jason in this movie.
That's it. That's all they wanted to do. Yep.
Really.
Such horse shit.
Yep. Then he turns around and goes after the guy who... I love people who fall down and then takes them 14 hours to get back up again. They're like, oh.
Okay. I have a comment on this scene because it's shit. All right. This is one of my first huge gripes of this movie. So this dude is running towards the entrance, turns and looks, boards, turns and looks, turns away, turns and looks, hits the boards.
Yep.
I'm like, dude, seriously? Like if you're gonna make this believable, cut the first look.
Well,
He needs to be running, turn around, turn back,
and then
hit
hit
it.
it.
Yeah.
Don't
you're right.
double take. Because he had way more than enough time to put his head down and get out of the way and keep going.
Yeah, well, that's the thing
Way
is we get the whole like foreshadowing where Axel hits his head on that board. So you're like, oh, someone's gonna hit their head, and then this guy does. But yeah, the fact that we had to get the like triple take before he does it is like kind of like just puts it in the pooper.
Yeah.
And he wasn't even looking down. You could see the guy's eyes. He's looking eye level ahead. He would see that board.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trips like that in this movie, and they fucking piss me off.
Oh, dude.
But we do get an awesome kill where just this random chick just gets a shovel to the mouth.
Oh, that's good.
Ooh,
I thought it was
her
Irene.
lower body.
God dang.
Yeah, I thought it was too. I actually put it down as like, oh no, Axel's girlfriend, and then I was like, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, it was,
to be honest,
some random girl.
The only reason I figured out this was Irene in the beginning was because later when we see Irene and everything happens, like, Sheriff, I knew that you guys were a thing. And I was like, oh, so that girl in the beginning was okay, all right, cool. Because she was just girl. She was girl with Axel. I don't know.
Yep.
And yeah, everything kind of goes crazy. We get the 3D pickaxe throw where he runs outside. They're getting into the vehicle and he throws it at the windshield, and they like it's like right at her face. Like, come on.
Why was she so close?
Why? Why was she like this looking out the window?
Yeah.
Like, Tom. Oh god. Yeah, Tom gets thrown around and doesn't die, and they drive away, and then the sheriff shoots him, and that doesn't shoot Tom, but shoots Harry Warden, and Warden like wanders to the back of the mine, and then he just disappears. And then we shoot to 10 years later, and guess what? This town isn't called Valentine's Bluff, and I was really upset about that because that's a great name for a town. And that was the name of the town in the original. This one's called Harmony. All right, sure. They're like, welcome to Harmony, the most dangerous town in America. And I was like, God damn. I was like, just for one incident? Like, I'm pretty sure that's not true, but all right. Well, we'll go with it. And you find out Axel's the sheriff, and he's a pleasant guy. There's somebody reporting on the whole incident, like the history and all that. And he's just like, you're the problem. You're the reason this town gets such bad. Like, I was actually like, okay, that's actually pretty decent. But then he like makes a fool of himself, and the dude just walks in and he's like, well, glad you're putting Harmony on the map for bad reasons. We're making us look like some inbred mining town. And Axel just sits there and goes, but we are an inbred mining town.
Glad they admitted it.
Yes.
This film is not filmed at the standard FPS.
No, it's filmed in 4K, so it's at whatever or whatever frame rate they would film those.
Well, you could still film in 4K, but
it's not at 24. Yeah. It's not at 24 frames per second. It is way higher than that because it is so smooth. It sometimes looked like a TV movie. It
does. It looks exactly what I was thinking.
Weird. I didn't like that.
No, I don't like any movie like big screen film that's filmed that way. I'd hate it. Like it just
I wonder if they had to do that because of all the 3D they were doing.
Maybe could have been.
I'm guessing that was the case because there are moments where like characters are just talking to each other, and you're just like, "Am I watching Lifetime? Like what?
Yes.
What is this?"
That's what it feels like.
It was weird. So the guy who comes in and gives Axel shit, I was like, "Who is this guy?" I thought he was the mayor at first. I'm like, Who are you? And then you find out later he's just a guy who works at the mine named Tom. So, but yeah,
he's Ben. I thought
or Ben. Sorry,
yeah.
There's all the names.
Too many names.
Too many names. Yeah, Tom is. Jensen.
I didn't bother learning them.
Yeah, this is Ben.
Hi Ben.
Yeah, hi Ben. Also, we meet Megan, who works with Sarah, who is now Axel's wife. So the girl who is with Tom is now married to Axel. And then there's Megan, who works for Sarah, and then right here you find out she's fucking Axel because they are giving the fuck me eyes real hard.
Yeah,
man. They're
right.
Laser beams. She's like,
I love those eyes. I miss those eyes. I wish someone would do that to me.
No,
Megan's just like, I want you to fuck me while your wife watches. And I was like, holy shit, lady, you need to chill out.
Dude,
that's the kind of vibe she gives me.
She's like at the she's like at the diner at the bar there, just like, and the wife is barely out the door. Like,
She pulls like
what is happening?
She pulls like a steak fry out from in like her pants and just gives it to Shiv like, here you go, big boy.
Whoa.
Well, the next scene is them finishing up at the Evil Dead cabin. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get this whole thing where she's like, well, why didn't you tell your wife about us? Like, you're not happy in your marriage. We could go run off together, blah blah blah. And he's going along with it, and then she's like, I have a secret for you. I'm pregnant. And I was like, oh no, what's gonna happen? Nothing happens with this whole plot line, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
Nothing. Other than the fact that the wife finds out later.
I like how people don't know how babies work. Like, do you not know like the steps that go into the creation of a child?
His whole face is like, oh no. And it's like,
And then
what?
and she looks at his expression, she's like, tee. Like, what are you like? Look at this guy. He's like clearly like, oh fuck.
The color's gone out of his face.
No,
And she's like, isn't that so exciting? And he's like, yeah.
And internally
Yeah,
he's
sure is.
plotting her murder. He's gonna turn into a Lifetime movie.
He's like, I know I should have looked up the definition of pull out.
I don't know the meaning of that one.
Joey secretly
right.
has many children.
I do.
Joey plays for keeps.
You
Hey,
don't,
Mike-
you guys, you don't know if I have kids or not. How
I
do you know
don't.
that?
I don't know.
That's right.
Clearly
Yeah,
you don't
know.
either.
Yeah,
So-
neither do I.
My grandpa was in the military twice, and he would always joke about how he probably has more kids overseas than he even realizes.
Damn.
to tell-
Did he
used to
say
tell us
that in
about-
front of his wife?
Which one?
Oh.
No,
Oh.
in all seriousness, first wife passed away. Second wife passed away as well. Like, I never even knew them.
That's
Never knew.
sad.
Yeah,
That's sad.
it's part of life. But that's just what he said. He said he used to tell stories about the whorehouses when
The
he was
what?
in World War II in Korea. Yeah, the cat houses. Soldiers used to line up out in front of him. Yeah, 100%. One of the few things
gonna
about the
need
war
some
he used to talk about.
All right. Good juicy bit for Patreon right there.
There's gonna be more juicy bits here in a moment with the story, the way this show's going.
So Tom shows back up to town and everyone
Hi,
hates
Tom.
him. Everyone's not a fan. You find out he's selling the mine, and you find out that Ben, he's not too happy about all this because he's like, you know what? You didn't even show up for your dad's funeral. And as soon as he dies, you're going to sell off the mine. He's like, I want nothing to do with it. Here's my thing. Why does anyone give a shit about this? I understand like there's a possibility he sells the mine, miners lose their jobs if they like were to shut it down or whatever. But like, why is that his responsibility? If he doesn't want he doesn't want that for his life, then why are people making him feel guilty for it? Like,
Also, like, is he going to sell the mine and the people who buy the mine are going to be like, you know what? I just bought a mine, but I'm going to shut it down. Like, that seems silly.
Yeah.
Unless that happens, I don't know. I'm not a miner. I'm 29. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That was a bad joke. I'm going to eat my pretzel and just forget about it.
No, just keep eating it, dude. I'm down with it. I'm following. I see what you're putting down.
But yeah, it's just
There you go. Yes.
it just bothers me in movies when this happens, because this isn't like the first time that I've seen this in a movie where it's just like, something important to the town. It's like, I don't want this life anymore. I never wanted this, so I'm going to sell it. And everyone hates me now. Okay, cool.
But then he has like a coming of like change heart. Like, no, these are your people.
Yeah, because his ex-girlfriend who he ran away from decided, well, you should stay because I'm going to make you feel guilty. She's the worst of them. So he goes to a motel to get a room, and he meets the motel manager. She's a very, very little lady, and she's looking for her pup, who's an adorable French bulldog. And I was like, I want you for myself.
The
Lady or the
hotel
dog?
manager or the
no,
dog?
the dog.
Yeah.
The dog.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. And then,
Yeah, the dog is cute too.
And then this is when we get possibly the longest nude scene in history. Because then we open up to this girl is just riding the shit out of this man. Like, I'm surprised this man's dick is even attached to his body at the end of this session. And
He just clamps it off.
but that's the thing is Tom walks by, for one, their window, when you find out later, their shade was wide open and Tom looks in. It's like, I think anyone would have looked in at that moment.
Oh God, no kidding, dude. You hear
Like,
people
my
going to it,
Lord, I'd be out there going, "Good for you,
dude.
Would have
Listen,
sat in a chair.
I have
popcorn, pretzels."
I have a goal. It's never retained this, and I'm very upset. But hopefully one day I will. I always wanted to be like, Angela's heard the story. I believe I would just be walking, and you just overhear people having sex. Don't need to see it, nothing like that. You just overhear it, and I just want to yell to the where I can hear it. I just want to yell, "Stick it in her pooper!" Like that's it. Like just as loud as I can to see if like I get some acknowledgement. I've always wanted to do that. It's the little things in life, dude.
Right. So,
But he didn't seem that bothered by it. Like he looks and like sees it. He's like,
oh, he actually
whatever.
smiles before he actually sees anything.
Oh,
He
does
hears
he?
it, and he just gives like that, like, oh, like that little smirk,
oh,
and then he just continues to walk. Yeah. But
I thought it was like an annoyed look because his room is right next door.
he's probably enjoying it.
however.
Yeah.
I would.
So after it's all done, he's, the guy's getting dressed, and again, I'm sorry, like Commando, not a thing, bro. Not with jeans.
No, who does that?
Damn.
Just
Just
caught your
foul.
zipper.
Yeah, it's about. I was
There's
waiting for him
zipper.
to
There's
touch
like
the zipper.
rubbing on the inner part of the zipper on your dick.
Chafe,
It's
dude.
just that's.
Oh,
not
he's a
good.
trucker. It's a different life out on the road there. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Sure. This is
I did it raw. Of
this trucker is played by the writer Todd Farmer.
course it is.
No.
Of fucking
Yep.
course it is.
Yeah, and there's actually a special thanks in the credits to his wife for because she allowed him to be nude in the movie.
Wow.
Wait, so they were naked?
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
I know they were naked, but like without pads?
No, it wasn't. I don't think they were actually having sex, but
No, I don't
you
think
got
they
to
were
see-
having
You got to
sex,
see. You got
but-
to see his ass. So
That's true. I was looking.
So his actual
nice
wife got a special thanks for allowing
That's-
him to do that.
Amazing.
Yes,
Wow. I saw
Well,
that
she
man's
was a sport
butt.
about it.
I mean,
I'm honestly surprised he didn't just turn around. Like I'm 100%
right?
surprised. Like, I mean, with the way the rest of this
I
goes,
mean,
yeah,
might as
'cause-
well.
yeah. You see all of this woman.
Yeah.
Betsy Rue, who plays Irene, she had a lot of input on this scene because originally there was
But
not
she did
going
get
to,
some input.
there wasn't going to be like almost any nudity. You were going to see her boobs, and that was about it. And she was like, "No, I want to do this whole thing nude. I want to do this entire sequence fully. I want to run around. I want to do all that." So all of this was her idea, because when this movie came out, people were just assuming, oh, Todd Farmer wrote this specific because he knew he was going to be in the scene. He wrote specifically for himself, to have, and no, she was like, all of it was pretty much her like wanting to do that this way.
I bet the guys behind the camera were like, you want to get naked?
Like fully? Like,
I suppose we could allow that.
Yeah,
honey,
work
why don't
it
you
in.
go in the other room?
'Cause
Good Lord.
because she was asked later on, like, do you regret doing that? She's like, no, because I'm the one it was my idea to do it fully like that. And I was like, all right, bravo to you.
Kudos to her, man. I even said during the scene, I looked over at Angel. I was like, I really hope she got paid well for this.
Yeah.
I'm
She's
a bit
trooper.
dumbfounded. Now, I have filmed, I've been a part of shoots for movies that have an intimate scene like this.
Mm-hmm.
And, I'll talk all the shit and be like, oh, that is just beautiful. But in the moment, it was the most awkward fucking moment of my life. Because I am
haven't heard that.
fucking, I'm like holding the camera, like probably 2 feet away. And I'm like looking away. I'm like, I can't look at this.
I just got to
It
make
was
sure
just
that I'm
very
centered. I got to
awkward.
make sure the angle's right, but I am not
Dude,
looking
it was
once we're
so
there.
fucking awkward. Oh my
get a-
God.
Don't get a boner. Don't get a boner.
The,
Hey,
intimacy,
watch that
the
hole out.
intimacy coach is like, the intimacy coach is like rubbing my back, being like, "It's okay, honey." I'm like, I don't think it is.
Was this an older? Wait, hold on. Who was like intimacy coach? Was it like a older woman or something?
It was like a 60-year-old
creepy.
woman. Yeah,
That's creepy as fuck, dude.
she was
I'm
like,
sorry.
"It's okay, honey," and I'm like, I don't know.
What was the doctor? What was the doctor? They used to answer the sex questions on TV.
Oh, Dr. Ruth.
Dr. Ruth?
Yeah, she just died.
That's exactly. Oh, really?
Yeah, she died last year.
Damn, that
Yeah.
sucks. That's what made me think of that.
That's scary. It was bad. So I can't imagine how fucking awkward this was. But apparently, it was her idea, and she's like, "Woo!"
Yeah, she was all about it. But the funniest thing was after they're done and he's like getting dressed, she's telling him the history of Valentine's Day, and I'm just like, I don't know how I'm supposed to listen to this. Like, you're just hanging out there and you're just telling me the history. He just has no shit. He doesn't give a shit. Then you find out he recorded the whole thing. And he's like, yep, all right, see you later. And she's like out the door. And my first thing is I turn to my wife and I go, she's not even gonna put pants on? She's not even gonna pull a Linnea Quigley in Silent Night, Deadly Night, the original, like just putting on her shorts to walk outside.
That's it.
We talked about this. I was like, she had opportunity to get some clothes on.
Oh yeah,
At least a shirt.
She was determined. She just runs. I was like, holy shit! I love his first response is, "Go back inside and put some clothes on." So a kid's gonna see this.
Yeah, I did like that line though.
But yeah, I mean, I get it. Like that's fucked up. Like, you know, she was recorded without her permission and all that because he calls her. She's like, "I'm not a hooker," and he's like, "Well, tonight you are." And I was like, damn, bro.
Wow.
Whoa.
Ouch.
So, you know, she has a gun. She goes out there and she, you know, threatens him. And he's like, you're not going to shoot me. For one, I know that gun's not loaded. So he goes to get into his truck. And guess what? Surprise! Pickaxe right to the head.
Yeah, lock his
After
vehicles.
he gets pistol whipped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She
After
throws
does
the
that.
gun at him.
Oh,
and
yeah,
Why was the
actually
gun
hits him.
CG?
It's so good.
Yeah.
What?
Why was the gun CG?
I don't know.
This movie has a whole digital look to it. It just had to
it was
blend in.
it was weird.
It's got
It was
some good practical, but then there's like these weird bits of like, here's some digital for you.
Well, that's the
bitch. And I'm like,
problem
whoa.
too. The fact that this had to be filmed in such a high frame rate where even like CG things just looked way more CG and you're like, oh,
Yeah,
at
that's a
least
good
with
point.
24 frames per second, like you can still tell something's CG, but at least it looks a little bit better, especially when it's nighttime.
Yes.
Well, I don't know how that technology works, but they probably couldn't do any practical effects 3D.
That's
Probably
true,
has to do
yeah.
with like the software.
Yeah. I mean, this was 2009, which you'd be like, yeah, 2009, that's pretty far ahead of time. But it's like, no, this was the first 3D movie to be done in this using this technology. So this was a first. So they're trying to figure it all out. Because I know that, I mean, they make 3D movies still, and they don't have to do it this way. They don't look anything like this. They're back to like, all right, we can go back to the 24 frames. We can, you know, have it look natural and then have 3D things be more natural. This is very like in your face 3D. Like the eye poked out in the beginning of the movie. It's just like, oh, okay. Like clearly this is 3D. This reminds me, this is like a modern Friday the 13th part 3, where it's just like,
Yep.
right
That's exactly
in your face.
Yeah,
You're
for
like,
sure.
oh, okay.
I always think of like the Three Stooges did a 3D episode back in like the fucking early 50s, and it's so cheesy with the shit that they do, and that's exactly what I get here. Looking back now, like in 2009, it was probably cool with the 3D glasses, but like watching it on my living room or on my couch in my living room is like, yeah, this is really fucking cheesy, man.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Give him the benefit of the doubt, you know. But yeah, so she's running around scared, still naked.
Naked and afraid.
Yeah, she goes into the manager's office and hides in the room. And the manager comes in and she's looking for a doggy. And she gets the pickaxe right under the chin, right
my
into the
God.
ceiling. I don't
Fucking
like
uppercut, dude.
I don't like how it's shot though. Like I feel like they cut too much of it where it's like I want to see her get it through the chin up into the roof, but it seemed like we're seeing it from Irene's perspective, so it's like really weirdly out of focus and just odd. I was like, all right, well that would have been way better.
They show it like for a split second, but I feel like they probably cut most of it because it probably looked bad. Because
Yeah,
they
you're
did
probably
show it for like a second.
Maybe it was
though.
like really close. It was like a really close in shot of the hotel or the motel manager where it was like I think it would have been better if it showed it from like behind the miner as he would, you know, throw that uppercut with the pickaxe. It was a cool kill.
Yep.
I just didn't like how
Shoryuken.
yeah, pretty much. I just
Yeah.
didn't like
Okay.
how it was shot.
Dude, something threw me. We had to rewind the movie.
Oh.
She goes, this is when she's butt naked. She goes into the manager's like room, shuts the door, and I'm like, There's no doorknob.
Oh yeah,
there was
doorknob
no fucking
is-
doorknob.
No, it was way down low. Yeah.
Yeah, she rewound. I was like, oh yeah, because she's a little person. I was like, I get
It's
it. And Angel was like,
so-
oh,
that was
everything
awesome.
in there is
Yeah,
lowered
everything
down.
is
I was
lower.
like, that's
How'd she fit under the bed?
oh, she
That's a
just
good point.
Compresses
Yeah.
and slides.
Yeah, but I mean, the funny thing was that so the miner was hiding in the closet. He kills the manager there. The dog is not harmed, thank God. And
I figured it'd be dead. I figured you'd find like pinned to a wall
I'm-
somewhere.
I'm glad that didn't
Oh.
happen because I probably would have turned the movie off. I would have been done. Like, not the little adorable, French bulldog. Don't do that. So yeah, she gets discovered under the bed. He pulls her out. Then she like pulls the bed frame in front of her to kind of block her. I was like, there's a bunch of holes there, by the way. And we're doing this. I was calling it bed frame roulette, where he's just like, huh. It's like a game at an
Yeah.
arcade. He's like, he's gonna get it. And then the kill is off screen.
It's like whack-a-mole, but it's like her boobs keep popping in and out.
Yeah.
Like all different spots. Like this is weird. This shouldn't work this way, but it's doing it.
Oh, that would have been great. That was an
That would've been
alternate.
better.
That was an alternate scene.
Yeah,
That's
He
what we
puts
do,
down the pickaxe and he's just like.
So we do the next scary movie. They'll squeeze it in there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I will say this. We didn't talk about this. Even though this shot, kudos to her for doing all this. And it's actually pretty decent, I'd say, for like this whole kill. Like she was like dedicated to it. It still doesn't cover the beginning of the original with the meat and fuck coal miner. It'll never be that good to me.
No.
It's a classic.
It's
Yeah,
great.
I agree.
It's a great opening.
Mm-hmm.
So they find her dead body the next day, and they find that she's been cut open and her heart was taken out. This is when you find out that Irene was. This is when I found out that this was the girl from the beginning of the movie that was with Axel, because you get the whole, oh, I know that you guys had a history. Like what, 10 years ago? Like really? All right. I mean, yes, it sucks, but
Yeah.
So Tom runs into Sarah, and Sarah's just like, oh my God, Tom, where have you been? It's been 10 years. Why'd you just leave? And he'd be like, why do I have to tell anyone what I did?
Yeah, literally.
Like, I could just leave. That's fine. Were we in like a super serious relationship? Did I forget to call you and tell you that maybe we should break up? Like,
It's literally been 10 years, dude.
I'm an adult. If I want to fucking leave, I'm going to leave. All right.
Yeah. He's just in there to buy. He's like, I'm just here to buy Flintstone gummies.
Well, the thing was, he's like, well,
Love.
clearly you found your guy. You got with Axel. So, like, what does it fucking matter why I left? I don't know. Whatever. People can be mad at my response to that, but I'm just like, why does it fucking matter? Like, you guys were like out of high school, right? So it's like, how serious was this relationship?
I know these guys are both veterans, but this is like, this part of the plot is like fucking CW to the max.
Yes.
I'm like, guys,
For
it's
sure.
fine. It's been 10
Yep.
years.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you have fucked one of the attractive nurses at the insane asylum you're at. It's cool, dude. It's been a long
Yeah.
time. Put the dick down.
So then when he leaves the grocery store after he has the conversation with Sarah, you get the perspective of Megan looking at him like, oh, there's something spicy going on there. Again, another part of Megan that happens in this movie that goes nowhere. It doesn't lead to anything later on in the movie.
Yep.
Angela, what is your opinion on her being annoyed with him that he left?
She shouldn't be annoyed that he left.
I mean, I get it. If he didn't call, if he just left and didn't tell her, okay, maybe she'd be a little annoyed. But I feel like after a few years, just get over it.
Yeah, you're gonna be over
You
it.
probably wouldn't even bring it up. Like, hey, how you
Also,
doing?
were you
Like, "Oh,
married?
good."
No. Did you have a kid? No. So there's no attachments other than you guys were girlfriend and boyfriend. Okay, cool. It's
It's
sometimes that shit happens. It sucks, but
Yeah.
get over it. Like,
It was a high school
I'm
sweetheart
sorry.
thing. Dude. Get
Yeah.
the fuck over it, dude. Who cares?
I think your actual husband's doing something worse with the girl who's literally bagging up the groceries.
10 feet that way.
Yeah.
That's a good
All
point.
right, man.
And very out of uniform.
Yeah, and you're gonna see more of it later on in the movie.
Yeah, like, dude,
Like,
he
how
was
old is
busy
this
fighting.
girl? My wife goes, is she
Doesn't
like
matter.
17? Like, what is going on?
He's the sheriff. What are they gonna
That's
do?
true.
What are they gonna do? He bagged her groceries, boy.
Boy, did he.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
Paper or plastic, none for me, ma'am.
That's why she's pregnant. There was no plastic involved. Actually, rubber. More like it. So Axel gets a Valentine with a nice juicy heart in it.
Oh,
Yeah, and this is when Sarah, I think, also shows up to the police station, and she's just like, yeah, I just wanted to check up on you and then all this stuff. And he's just like, did you see Tom Hanniger or whatever the hell this dude's name is? Did you see him? What is he doing? And I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, why is he, I mean, I guess they have a feud from back in the day because he left him in the mine in the beginning, but like, damn, it's been 10 years.
No, it's because he's jealous because he thinks his wife still has a thing for him. But I'm like, but you're fucking that girl and you got her pregnant. So what are we talking about here?
No. Well, I was pointing at you because we were talking about this.
Oh, I was about to say.
No, you didn't.
I didn't do anything.
No, no. We were talking about this because this is, from what I've read, and I think you'll back me up on this. People who do that, like people who are cheating, will often assume their partner's doing the same thing.
Yeah,
or a normal.
It's because it's all based on fear. It's like they're afraid they're going to be found out, so they're going to throw all of that over to their spouse.
Yeah, or they're like, well, if I'm doing it, then she's got to be doing it, but she can't do it. Only I can do it.
Yeah, his wife is like the sweetest girl, like other than the fact she's being mad at Tom for something that happened a decade ago, but she seems like a good person. She's got a kid. She takes good care of her kid. They can afford a freaking housekeeper.
I know. Right? Yeah, exactly.
On a small town policeman's salary? What? I mean, she owns the grocery store. Well, she owns the grocery store.
Okay, she owns the grocery store.
Yeah, because it was her dad. It was her dad's. Yeah. So we then are at a bar and Tom goes in. Everyone's like, fuck you. What are you doing here? You suck, blah, blah.
I'll kill you, son of a bitch.
Like you have the deputy, the old deputy from the beginning of the movie. He's the first one to get up and freaking swing at him. I was like, holy shit, what is happening?
Tom would have broke this man in half if he had swallowed
pretty much, man. But then you have the other guy.
After 10 years, it's ridiculous.
Right? Yeah, and then the other guy gets up. His name is Red. The dude with the big beard, he just gets up and then punches the this is another 3D effect where they have the camera behind the mirror and he punches it. I was like, oh, okay.
Classic.
And then
classic stuff.
And then Tom Atkins has to like bring him over to the corner and be like, listen, everyone here fucking hates you for what you're doing to the town. He's like, what? Because I'm making a decision for my life? Because I'm making a crucial decision for my life? I don't have to answer to any of you stupid people. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry. I'm on Tom's side. All right, I'm on Tom's side up until later on in the movie.
Wait,
but
Tom or Tom Atkins?
I'm on Tom. No, I'm on Jensen Ackles. Tom.
Okay,
yeah, I'm on Tom Hanniger's side. Yeah, because to be honest, I love Tom Atkins. He doesn't do much in this movie. He just walks around and says things.
Walks around with his gun.
I understand he's a lot older in this movie, and you know he's supposed to be like this retired guy. He does have a good scenes here and there. He's not bad. I still love him. Anytime he's on screen, I'm always like, hell yeah, give it to me. But he doesn't do a lot in this movie compared to others. Not that way. Jesus, I saw your heads tilt.
I was just thinking of Irene.
Same.
Oh man.
I haven't stopped. Matter of fact, I rewatched it. Matter of fact, I texted you and said, dude, there's a lot of fucking boobs in this movie.
Yeah, you did.
Slow motion.
Yeah.
Slow it down.
I mean, literally, you could probably just go on the internet and just search for that specific scene and just watch it on repeat. There you go.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay, I'll do that after.
There.
But there's so much more you could get on the internet. Like, why just this scene?
There is?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. I apologize for spoiling the internet's biggest secret, Joey.
Joey's been flipping through the same magazines from 1997 for the last 20 years.
Dude, the next time you see me, I'm gonna be like Quagmire on that episode of Family Guy when he has like a beard and his
he's got the
right
big
arm is fucking jacked.
It's like, Quagmire, how long have you been? You've been in there for like 2 weeks straight. What day is it?
So I gotta ask now. I'm going to ask this for the audience. Who else in the audience had the Found in the Shrubs pornography mag?
Not Found in the Shrubs. I just found them in like my dad's closet. He didn't hide them well. I don't think he cared to hide them. He's like, hey, my son will get to an age where he'll find them. And then I don't care, to be honest.
Then he'll be a man.
Yeah. And he had all of them. He had all the different ones, not just the Playboys. He had like the extreme ones where you opened it up,
penthouses and shit like that, and trim or whatever.
What is that?
Is it supposed to look like that?
Those things scare me. I gotta figure this out.
Supposed to look like that. Angela with the most uncomfortable laughter.
Every time I look at this,
I'm trying not to laugh because it makes me cough.
Oh God! This is a very not safe for work episode. Everybody.
No.
Do not.
How was
Not
that
safe
any
for work
different?
movie.
No.
But we're back. This is the second episode of the season. We gotta.
No, Dan,
Hard
there's
and fast,
multiple
just like that
levels
truck
of
driver.
not safe for work, okay? It's like your normal episode, and then it's like...
When you edit this, just put a picture of a half-pound Arby's roast beef sandwich. They'll get it.
That's what you should do. Now I'm hungry.
I'm just going to post that on Instagram. I'm just going to post a picture of an Arby's roast beef sandwich with no caption, nothing. It's just going to be that picture.
Hint for the episode.
I'm just going to see how many likes it gets. I hope Arby's likes it.
Tag Arby's.
That would be awesome.
They have the
And
meat.
they'll never know.
Oh, Lord. All right, moving on. So then we get another weird ass scene where Sarah's walking down the hallway to her home and she hears moaning, and then she opens up the door and the dude's just watching the tape that the trucker did. So he's watching the all the hotness going on there. And also your kid's in the same house. Like, turn it down or put some headphones on, dude.
Yeah.
Dude's got it like full blast. It's just like moaning throughout the entire. And she's just like, "What are you doing?" Oh, Irene, I'm so sorry.
Porn video.
I love how she walks in there. She sees what he's watching. He doesn't even hide it. And she's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "I'm doing an investigation, see what happened." And then he questions her about Tom again. And then he talks about how it was Irene. So she's like, literally, he's got a video of Irene fucking this guy. And she is standing there going, "I'm so sorry." I was like,
Yeah,
this
I know.
is such a weird scene. Like, what is going on? To the point where
The
he's like,
reaction was not good.
oh, it was just so like, what? All right. So then, okay, go ahead.
So I kind of wish this girl's name was not Irene and slightly different, because now that we're talking about this, I just have that song "Come On Eileen" playing in my head.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
All
all I
right,
got.
moving on.
But it is weird though. Like you said, you literally said the same thing I was thinking. You come in and she's like, "Oh, what's the matter, baby? You jerking it? You need some lube? You need some like Lubriderm, whatever, some Johnsons, whatever the fuck it is.
Jensen's
Jergens, whatever. You know what I
some
mean?
Jensen's? We got one. His name's Tom.
Yes, absolutely. Dude, perfect. It works. So, but like you said, just this is 2009. Just plug some headphones in.
Right. I don't understand why that's not a thing.
Can you take evidence? I know he's the chief, but can you take evidence home?
It's a small town. I don't
He's
think
the
they care.
sheriff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he can do
That's
whatever he
fair.
wants.
They probably don't even have a computer at the police station. They
No,
just have to
probably
call from
not.
paper. Yeah.
Redneck
So
town.
The fact that you
Harmony.
said that about the song, it's pretty sad that I was singing it that way.
Come
During-
on, Irene.
Yes, during the movie.
That's beautiful.
Wait, I gotta go get my overalls. I'll be right back.
In a world that has been completely divided for so long, two movie fans have decided to unite for the people and the betterment of mankind. One, an action movie buff. The other, a horror movie fanatic. Together, they will try to bridge the gap of both genres into one podcast with their battle cry, "Give me back my action and horror movies." Listen along as Charlie and Nate alternate each week talking about action and horror movies they cherish, mostly from the VHS era. Also, including some modern examples that felt like the movies they grew up with, by answering the battle cry, "Give me back my action and horror movies." Available wherever you listen to podcasts. Look them up on Facebook and Instagram.
So also Axel again shows some jealousy because he finds the picture of Sarah and Tom from the beginning of the movie that she had like found in a box after she ran into Tom. She was like, "Oh," but she must have not put it away because Axel found it. Now he's jealous about it. But also he points out that Tom's in the tape because they see him outside the window when he's walking by. So it's like, he must be a suspect. Like, okay.
He's just looking for dirt, dude. This dude's just pissed.
He's like, nothing's been happening until he showed up. So people continue being mad at Tom for wanting to sell the mine and move on is just wild to me. I just was very confused the whole time. And Sarah's the worst of them. She literally like walks him down the bridge and she's just like, "You are ruining this town. It's all your fault. You suck." And he was like, "Okay, I guess I changed my mind now." I was like, "What?" All right. But so he goes to the mine because he's going to talk to Ben, I guess, about how he wasn't going to sell the mine. And he goes down there with the guy who attacked him earlier, Red. And they get down there and they can't find anyone. Like, no one's down there. So Red's on the phone talking, and Tom gets attacked by the miner, gets thrown into like this I think it's got like electrical panels and stuff in there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, like
crate
like
some sort.
valves for
bleeding the lines and stuff like that. Yeah, because that was like the whole thing is Tom was responsible for the explosion that happened in the mine in the beginning because he didn't bleed the lines or something like that.
Which I don't even know what the fuck that means.
Get methane and stuff out.
Yeah,
it's
a big
naturally
deal in mining. Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, he
Take
gets
canaries.
attacked. Yep. Oh, the canary's dead. We're fucked.
Yep.
So the miner attacks Tom, locks him up. They get the face-to-face like look between the chain link fence. Then Red actually puts up a good fight against the miner. Like actually dodging him, he's like hitting him. He actually gets the pickaxe and starts beating him. I'm like, why aren't you stabbing him with it?
Yeah, exactly.
He's just like poking at him. He's like, I'm like, what the hell is happening here? And then he gets the upper, the miner is on the ground. He gets the upper hand because he kicks the pickaxe under his chin. I'm like, boy, there's a lot of chin kills in this one. Just not giving a shit.
There's a brutal one coming up.
Yeah. And then after he's dead, though, he just looks over at Tom. He's like, I'm going to do more damage to him. And then just starts repeatedly stabbing him with the pickaxe over and over again. And then the other miners who are up like at the top, they come down and investigate. And they're like, "Oh, shit. What did you do, Tom?" And I'm like, for one, Tom is locked up in a cage.
Yeah, literally.
What would he have done? I don't know. These people just love to blame Tom for things. So
like old school mentality, like somebody new comes into town, something bad happens. There's nobody else to blame but the new person that came into town.
Well, the whole thing is that Tom went there to talk to Ben. Ben wasn't there. Like he literally went down into the mine because he was told that Ben was there, but he wasn't. So Ben is at home and Tom goes to Ben and tells him, "Hey, it was Harry Warden. And also, I'm not selling the mine. I decided I don't want to." So Tom is sitting on the hospital bed, okay? Sarah shows up. She's talking to him about everything. He's like, "I'm not selling the mine, so everybody needs to chill the fuck out." And Ben is there. And then Axel just shows up out of, like he just poofed, like a magician. Just
nowhere.
Comes out from behind the curtain. Just like, "It was you. Nothing was happening in this town until you showed up. Blah, blah, blah." I was like, holy shit. I was just waiting for some smoke to come up before he reappeared. I'm like, what the hell?
He was sitting there behind that curtain for like an hour waiting for the right time to just
somebody
pop
give me
out.
a cue. Give me a cue, guys. I need to know. And yeah, he's also spouting nonsense because the jealousy is showing up and he's accusing Sarah and Tom that they're hooking up. And he's like, "You know what? She's my wife and I do this and I have sex with her." And she's just like, "What? Okay, that's enough of that." Like, I don't think the whole world needs to know all these things. We're married. I think that's just assumed. Okay.
Yeah. And you have a
And you have a
child.
kid, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's what Tom is like, what's happening? What's this man saying? And then we get the whole story about what really happened to Harry Warden after he was driven to the back of the mine. So pretty much he was Freddy Kruegered.
Yep.
So
Absolutely was.
Tom, so he gets told that the town pretty much found Harry Warden at like the entrance or at this porthole to the mine that comes up from the ground. They found him like half dead already. And then Sheriff Tom Atkins finished him off. And then they buried him in like this shallow grave. And it's like, okay, they go there. The bones are gone. And they're like, "Well, that's where they were." And I was like, what? The reactions to these situations are wild. Because, like, you have some people who are super concerned about what's going on, and other people was like, well, shit. The bones are gone.
And it's been 10 years. Bones are fucking dust now, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know how long that takes.
The deputy, like Axel's deputy there, he was in X-Men First Class. He was the Gill guy. He was the dude who could like change based on the environment.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
okay.
can't remember what his actual character name was in that.
That's okay. That movie sucked anyway, so that's fine.
First Class?
No, not First Class. I'm sorry. I was thinking of the third one. Nope, you're good. First Class.
I hated First Class.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, we'll move on.
Oh, he's Mr. Terrific. He's going to be Mr. Terrific in the new Superman movie.
Yes, he is. Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is when Tom starts to change his attitude, because then he starts like saying shit to Axel about like, well, you know, if I was still around, you would have never got with Sarah, and I knew you were into Sarah the whole time. And Axel's just like, oh my God, I'm going to punch this guy in the face. And then Tom's like, I'm going after Warden. So see you later. Goes back to the mine, to Tunnel 5. He's having a hard time going in. He opens the door. He goes in there, and then he's like, okay, I'm going to get out of here. But then the door opens up. And then he looks into the woods, and he sees a light. And he looks, and he sees he's in the woods. So I'm going to go after him. Then he finds an abandoned house with a bed, which you find out is the house that Axel was banging Megan in, and he finds
place to do so.
Yeah, and he finds the chocolates on the bed
With a rat.
With a rat, yeah. He's enjoying. Hey, I mean, if it's just gonna be there, you know, something's got to enjoy it, right?
Eat up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So then we're at Ben's house. He's got a really nice house. His old like Victorian style house. Like I'm like, okay.
If the
What's
mine
this man
sells,
making?
I'm ruined. His beautiful house.
Yeah, his house
I'm
is
ruined, I tell you.
So he's very drunk, and he hears a noise. He goes outside with his shotgun. What kind of shotgun is this?
I don't know the make. It's an over-under is all I can tell you.
This thing is
Over-under is just kind of another beautifully crafted item.
Yeah. Well, he goes out there. Nothing's out there. He goes in. He unloads the gun. I don't understand why he does this. He unloads the gun, and then this is when you get like the jump scare where like Warden comes out from another room and attacks him. Does he stab him in the back?
Yeah, he gets.
Yeah, he pulls it out because you can see the blood on the pickaxe when he points it at him.
All right. I feel like he wouldn't be able to fight much after that initial blow. Yeah. Especially if you get him in the spine, like, well, paralyzed.
I think it was more to like one of the sides. It was the back,
Yeah,
like
probably like a
left
shoulder
right
or something.
spine. Yeah. It still hurt like a bitch.
And go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it just bothers me people's like habits of how they just like either don't load the guns or just unload them. Like, oh, nothing's gonna happen.
I think he unloads it just so he could hold the gun over his shoulder in that cool way. Like what?
You could still.
I know you could still do that, but
it
it just didn't look because it like folded over his shoulder. It just didn't look as cool.
Well, I mean, hunters regularly do that, but it's always like, why? But I don't know. It's just, and the same with the lady. Like, I got this gun, but I don't have it loaded. Like,
right.
don't do that.
That's right. It wasn't loaded. That's why she threw it.
So this is my knowledge on this situation. If you're going to produce a firearm, you need to be prepared to use it. Don't be like, it's not loaded. I'll use it to scare somebody away. That can escalate situations. So I'm just saying, if it don't hopefully it never happens to anybody, but if it does, don't do that. It's not loaded, but I'm gonna use it to scare somebody. No, don't do that shit. Just say
don't do it.
It's not a good idea.
So yeah, he gets we get another eye kill where he has the pickaxe in the floor and then he pushes his head through the pickaxe. Is great.
Pushes
long enough to get
stomps on it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because he's like trying to push him. He's fighting back and it's like,
enough to get a one-liner.
Doesn't he go like, oh shit?
He's like, oh shit. And just steps on him. Curb stomps his ass.
I missed that completely.
It's a good kill though. It's good.
Yeah.
I do like how
There's a lot
miner,
of good kills.
There are, and the miner does struggle with people. Like he just doesn't always dominate everybody he fights. Because Ben put up a little bit of a struggle with him fighting him. It wasn't.
It's a guy. It's a regular guy. So
yeah, I know. But you know how
there's no supernatural abilities. I don't think with this one. I don't even think in the original there was anything supernatural about the killer.
No,
I mean there is. So. I mean, I guess to a degree, but we'll talk about that later. So yeah, Axel just continues to be a shitty sheriff, and he treats his wife like shit because he's just jealous. It just keeps on going and going, and it's annoying. Also, Kurt Smith, man, he's just got a very punchable face.
Oh, he does.
No offense, Kurt Smith. You're just in this movie. You have a very punchable face.
I'm sure you're a wonderful man.
Yeah, I hope so. So yeah, they find Ben's body dumped at Harry Warden's grave that they initially thought he was at. And the reactions to finding Ben's body is just not what you expect. You expect like, holy shit, this is getting crazy. This is getting really serious. It's more like, all right, this is happening again. Things are going on. I'm like, can we have some sort of emotion here? What is happening? Like, we got to do something. Everybody's just so nonchalant around here.
Yeah, that is true.
No wonder these things continue. It's awful. Care more. We're then at the grocery store, and Megan's mopping, and she's doing a terrible job. She's mopping like a 2-foot square, and she doesn't know how to use a mop. And I love that.
Hold on. Okay, finish what you're gonna say. I have something to say about that.
I just love that Sarah walks around the corner. She's like, "Stop doing that. Just enough of that."
This makes me think of SpongeBob, and it's the episode where Patrick gets a job at the Krusty Krab, and he's just like, "I can't do anything right," and he's just sitting there, and he just goes out and starts cleaning. He puts the mop in the water, and he flips it upside down, starts mopping the ground with the mop upside down. And this guy just walks in. He's like, "Hey, buddy, you just blowing from Stupid Town?" That's exactly what I thought. I was like, and hey, listen, I haven't done it in a long time. When I used to run the movie theater, you would be shocked at the number of people we hired that had no idea how to sweep, mop, or use a vacuum cleaner.
It's very sad. Very sad.
You know how to use those things.
Yeah, it
I've
just blows my
vacuumed
mind.
a
There's
couple
just people-
times.
Yeah, that's right. That's fair.
I can mop.
That's right. Damn right you can.
I will say though, this scene it was actually pretty fucking suspenseful. Like I was actually pleasantly surprised with how well this particular scene was shot.
I didn't mind it. The beginning, the things that bothered me about the beginning, outside of like we were watching this and just naming off products in the background.
All the
Oh yeah,
brands.
What
I
I
about
was
the
like
Utz?
looking at the pretzels. Yeah,
I seen Doritos. What
You know
else?
what
We saw like a. Go
You know
ahead.
what I noticed? The number one thing I noticed.
they didn't face very well.
No, they didn't. But they walked by a rack that had a sticker on it of a football helmet with a grayed out symbol. It was a Steelers sticker, but they had to gray out the actual logo because they probably didn't have permission to use it because it was filmed around Pittsburgh. So
Yeah, of course.
it was filmed in an actual grocery store.
oh,
That makes it look like it.
Yeah. I was like, that's a
So-
Steelers sticker. That's a Steelers helmet right there. But it was just a gray circle in the middle.
I know you can tell it was a smaller town grocery store because they looked down one of the aisles and there's all these like racks in the middle, but there's not enough space for these racks in the middle of this aisle, but they're all lined up down the fucking aisle. I'm like, who the fuck play in this store? But
Because there's
other
no
than that-
was there carts in this grocery store?
I
Or was
don't
it all
remember.
like hand baskets?
It could have been if it was small town.
I'm gonna have to
Baskets for
examine
everybody.
this grocery store now.
Do a video on it.
Did they show
Exactly.
the front of the store?
Well, just
They
the
did.
door that
They showed
nobody
it a
decided to
few
walk
times.
out of. Because there's like somebody's in the store and they know there's a killer and like the door's right there.
Well, I do
Just
love the
leave.
shot where they walk by the aisle and the miner's just at the end, just standing there.
Yeah.
But they don't
Since he
realize
can't
it.
talk.
Yeah.
He
Well,
just
then
wants
they, like-
cantaloupe. He's like, "Where's the cantaloupe?" But he can't speak. Go ahead.
I do
sorry.
like that shot though because they'll
is.
like pan to the left a little bit and then when they pan back, he's gone. That's a
Mhm.
great shot, man.
It's
It's
good.
such a simple shot, but it's good.
Yeah, this whole sequence may be my favorite of the movie. I just think it's the
It definitely is for me.
yeah, everything just seems like it's filmed in a way that just it felt different from the rest of the movie. Like this is the scene that felt like it was gritty and like the film it had like a little bit of a film grade to it where it wasn't like that really shiny like what we've been talking about, the fact that it's at a higher frame rate and it just looks weird. Like this actually looked different compared to everything else and I actually enjoyed that.
That was good.
Also, he gets the shit beat out of him by like bologna and a piece of
Yeah.
like meat.
A ham. He's like,
Yeah.
"Ah."
Meat to the face.
And a mop.
Yep.
And a mop. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets mad and throws hearts at them. Huh. Like, I
I'm
don't know
sorry.
why he did that. He's just like, "Whoa."
I'm sorry. As someone who went to high school with a lot of girls who wore these type of skirts, there's no way this girl is fighting and doing anything in this skirt without it literally being at her waist and her whole ass and everything is just hanging out.
Because they ride up.
Oh yeah.
That makes sense.
So
Staple it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I mean, I mean, you can't top what the lady did earlier. So, I mean, at this point, just let that skirt ride. I mean,
Yeah.
you might as well.
That's a good
Jeez.
point.
So also my least favorite thing in horror movies is the run away from killer, stop, turn around to look where killer is. No, just run. Just run.
Or the telegraphed she's gonna fall and she falls. Like,
yeah.
She had to
pissed
turn
me
around
off.
first.
It's
that's the
just
worst part of
awful.
this whole scene. It kind of ruined it for me. But I do like this scene. But it kind of like
Yeah, because it gets intense. Like when they're in the office there and they pull, they push the desk up against the door and he's hacking through the door and she's got the keys and she's like, I can't get it. And she's like trying the key. I thought
find him.
I thought she was going to drop him because the lock was outside the window. She finally gets it. Yeah, I would have dropped him probably. I would have been like, shit, we're dead.
I'm just surprised she found
this scene pissed me off because like he's hacking through the door. They finally get the window open. She gets halfway out the window. Somehow in 5 seconds, he leaves the fucking grocery store and ends up behind on the side of the building. Fuck you.
No, that was bullshit.
Yeah,
I agree.
Teleport.
Well, I do love the reaction that Sarah has. She's like, something isn't right. Because he just leaves.
As she's Megan's halfway out the window.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry.
they
She would have been
couldn't
out the
open the
window and
window?
ran away by that point. By the point that he would have gotten.
Why
there.
didn't she push the window all the way?
Why didn't we open it more?
Oh, because we
like,
want to struggle getting out a window. Okay.
Gives her this much room.
Well, no, that's what I was thinking. But at least I will give this credit. At least Sarah. I was like, I know her name. Yeah, right. The list is here. At least she had the intelligence to realize, get the fuck back in and start bringing him back in instead of like, let's climb out. And it's yoink.
Yeah.
Like it gave a little more credit to the character. Yeah.
I think it would have been better if she escaped and as like Sarah's climbing out the window, or maybe they have it so like she realizes that the miner's not at the door anymore and she goes to investigate the door and then all you hear is a scream from outside and then they find Megan's body.
Yes.
You get the whole shirt thing. I thought we were going to get like a topless scene. I was like, what is happening here? Because he grabs the shirt with the pickaxe and he's pulling.
Yeah,
she's
it was
like,
good. It was close.
I'm like,
that's exactly where I thought it was going.
Her buttons would have already broken.
That's what I said. I was like, she pulls part, those buttons are going to pop.
it's like the scene in Jurassic World where they're like at the end when the Indominus is attacking and it puts its hand through like the little shack that the kids are hiding in, and it grabs the kid by his little fanny pack, and he's getting pulled by the Indominus, and he's crying because he can't get the thing undone. I was like, that kid would have been yoinked out in a half second because that dinosaur is huge and he weighs 70 pounds.
Yep.
That's the same
fact.
So yeah, she escapes. Axel shows up by himself. Why? She calls
the backup.
She calls the cops. Why is he there by himself? He's the sheriff. Why is he? Hey, I need you to come with me. We got to go down to my wife's grocery store. Like, no, all alone.
Yeah, where's his deputy? Like, why didn't he come?
I don't know. I don't get it.
It's red herring.
But then,
yeah, it's pretty much.
Yeah. Oh, that was my wife actually suggested that. She's like, what if it's the deputy? What if it's that cop? And I was like, that would have been a weird twist because it's like, what connection does this guy have to make it important? I guess I don't know. It would have been just out of the blue. Like, we've only seen this guy as a cop. We didn't see him before, like at the high school party or whatever kind of party they were having there.
You found out Harry Warden's his stepdad. I don't know. It could be.
It could have been. Yeah.
That'd been a good twist.
It would have been a weird. It would have been an interesting twist. Yeah. So they find Megan's body, all carved up, and like I said, we found out earlier in the movie that she was pregnant with Axel's baby. Nothing happens with it. Literally, he has like barely a reaction to finding her dead because I guess he can't show any reaction to it other than, oh, that sucks, she dead. But then Sarah tells him, like, I know you were sleeping with her. Like, I knew you were cheating on me with her. And he's like,
not fucking stupid.
Oh, all right. But again, there was still no reaction to his pregnant girlfriend being dead.
The only thing he did was he grabbed her and asked, "Where's Megan?" when they first met her.
Oh yeah, but that's it. We don't get nothing like, oh hey, yeah, I just lost a kid too. That's all right.
Unrelated. I'm sitting here talking to you. I'm explaining. It's like, where's Megan? And as I am, I just see this stink bug crawling from back over the top of the monitor. I was like, what's going on? Am I in a horror movie now? Like facing toward, like, oh god. Hey, buddy. Anyway, keep going.
Did you get it? Did you kill it?
I touched its antenna.
That's what I kept looking at over here because I was afraid it was going to start walking down there.
It's just doodling about.
Oh yeah, just let it hang out. It's gonna crawl into your mouth when you're sleeping.
I actually ate one once.
I have eaten one once. I was
They taste like they smell.
taking a bite out of my food, and as soon as I did, it flew right in my mouth. I'm like, what?
Oh no.
So disgusting. Yeah,
Mine was
they taste so bad.
It got inside of a box of cereal. Like I poured it and like it was eating my cereal. I took a bite and I was like, and I just spit and it was a little stink bug. I was like, they taste like they smell.
Yep.
Okay.
So everybody's getting meat in this movie.
Good
Everybody.
Lord.
Yep.
So the message "Be Mine Forever" is painted in blood above Megan's destroyed body.
P.S. I'm pregnant underneath it.
Nothing happens with that. I don't know why it was even included.
Because that's
Stupid.
one thing that the killer in theory wouldn't know because it wasn't in the card.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So that whole plot point, like you said, entirely moot.
Yeah. All right. So the miner goes to the Palmer's house, and Tom Atkins and a random deputy show up to the house. Like, why? Like, did they get an alert to go to their house?
Well, earlier in the movie, Axel does say, "Hey, I want somebody watching my house."
Okay. Oh yeah, because she was just sitting outside in her car, but then
Yeah, she's
Tom
just
Atkins
surveilling.
shows up.
Tom Atkins jump scare.
Why did he show up though?
Yep.
Was he the neighbor? He was like, I saw somebody go in there.
Yeah.
The
How does
calls
he
coming
just
from inside the
magically
house.
know?
Yeah, I don't know.
Shit.
But I love the whole thing where he and the deputy, they like walk up to the front of the house and she's just like, "Do you want to take point?" And he's like, "I'm retired."
I'm retired.
It's on you.
And we get the the deputy goes into the like where the washer and dryer are, and because they can hear you like as soon as they walk into the house, you can hear the thumping, like even in the distance. And then the deputy walks to the back there, and she hears it and then opens it up, and you're just expecting a head. No, it's the entire body, and it's just like melted face just pops out of the washer. You're like,
Just like the original.
damn. Yes. Yes, it is. It is a good callback to the laundromat kill.
Yeah, which is really cool in the original. I actually was honestly, I was kind of expecting him how this movie was going to ice the kid, because they talk about at the beginning that he killed men, women, and children. But I guess they're like,
Yeah.
even though his kid has no real bearing in the movie. I was like, our kid's there.
Yeah. Yep. It was probably like somebody's kid on the production team because he doesn't do anything in this movie.
No.
Well, and the fact that the lady puts her hand all over blood on the dryer, I'm like, I don't know if I'd be touching
Put a
that.
glove on, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seriously.
put
Like,
something.
It's so true.
Be smarter than the people here. Wear
who
protection.
taught these cops
please.
to be? Who taught these cops to investigate a crime scene? Like, blood. I'm gonna finger paint now. See ya. Like,
You find out this town's banned latex and prophylactics for
Well,
years.
okay.
Like-
So the nurse in the beginning doesn't see that the bed is empty.
Huh.
Like, how do you miss
Yeah, that
somebody
is so
missing out of the
stupid.
The
bed?
dude I was just checking on, he's just gone. Maybe he went to go take a shit.
again, it can't be Harry Warden.
Dude.
He's in a coma. Sir,
He was in
the
a
bed
co-
is empty. I don't think he's in a coma anymore.
You imagine the shit you'd have to take after being in a coma for a year. I know they have things. I get it.
I was just going to
massive
ask, wait a second, how does that work? I don't want to know. I don't want to know
bullshit.
for the record.
Well,
There's
Joey, let me explain.
Way too many
How the
tubes.
body
Somebody's gonna
works.
come under. I was in a coma for 2 years, and I filled my toilet twice in
Toilet.
5 minutes.
You
Toilet.
said
I
it
said
again.
toilet. Fuck.
You filled that
Yes.
toilet up real good.
Dude, damn it! Just like occasionally, I'll say washer.
Golly, I'll fill that
I blame
toilet up, man.
Yeah,
I blame my
like-
parents for that shit.
Oh,
Wash rag.
Lord.
Wash rag.
Golly, Bob, howdy.
Sneak in that R.
I'm gonna have some rice with some Worcestershire sauce.
Wash your ass in the shower. I've heard it's called so many.
Wash your ass in the shower.
Yes. And wash your sister sauce. I've heard it called
Wash your
so
si-
many things
Okay.
because nobody knows how to say it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm from Massachusetts, where there's a city called Worcester, but it's actually spelled Worcester, but it's pronounced Worcester.
Like we have
Yep.
Sevierville.
Oh,
People never say that right either. Sevierville.
Yeah.
It's Sevierville.
Love it.
Yep.
This is when Tom Atkins is outside investigating some noises. He goes, he sees a light
And a lamp.
shining. Yeah. He sees the light shining, and he looks over, and it's the miner's helmet with the light on. And then he turns around.
The light.
I love, though, that when he discovers that, he turns around, still nothing there. You're expecting the killer to be there as soon as he turns around, but he doesn't. He goes all the way to the corner of the house. He looks, and then when he goes back, he turns around again, and then he gets the freaking pickaxe right through the chin again.
Brutal.
But this time,
Brutal.
you get to see him pull the pickaxe out, and the chin just flies at the screen in 3D. Whoa!
God damn. Dude, that
Brutal.
motherfucker
Always
killed.
he's been dying in a lot of movies I've watched with him. It's like, damn it, Tom Atkins, stop dying.
What else did he? Oh yeah, he did die at the end of Night of the Creeps.
Yeah.
Technically,
And he died like 2/3 of the way through Maniac Cop. Motherfucker gets thrown out a window.
I think the only movie, well, we haven't fully done an episode on it, but Halloween 3 he doesn't die.
His kids do though, in theory.
In theory,
Remember, it's
but
on the
not
TV.
technically.
Turn it off.
Yep.
Good scene. I'm not mocking it. It's a good scene.
Great
I'm
scene.
just being an idiot.
Hell.
So Tom gets Sarah, and he's like, "Hey, I don't think it's Harry Warden. I think it's Axel who's doing all these killings." And she's like, "What? Why? Okay." And he goes through the whole thing about like how he's jealous of them and all this stuff, and it's just weird. But the way he's acting is also very suspicious. Like the way he's talking to her, it's like he's just figuring things out on a whim. Like, all right, what kind of bullshit lie can I tell her right now? All right, her husband's the killer. Sounds like a good idea.
This is when I knew something was up.
Also,
Like, of course, you know from the first movie, but you kind of knew something was up right,
Right.
at this
Yeah.
point.
right. Also, he tells her, I have to take you to the mine. Why? Why do I have to go to the mine? I don't want to go to the mine. It doesn't seem
I
like
wanna
this is beneficial for anyone.
I want to show you
Why?
something.
I just, yeah, it's weird. And then the sheriff gets a phone call from, is it one of the,
Sheriff calls her while they're in the Bronco.
no, he gets information from somebody about Tom.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Before that.
You don't know what it is until he calls Sarah on their awesome flip phones, because this is 2009. And they're like, hey, so Tom was in an institution for 7 years, so I wouldn't trust him. What are you doing? And she's like, oh, well, I'm just traveling up to the mine, Mom. It's okay. I'll be home soon for supper. And hangs up. And Tom is just like, who was that? Your mom? I don't believe you. You have to believe me. Your husband's a killer. Oh.
You're not selling this, Tom. Please stop.
But then she like believes Axel to the point where she crashes Tom's car into a tree, which then we get a tree branch in 3D.
Then everybody,
Dewey.
the Final Destination has PTSD from
That's true.
it's brought back.
Oh God, this is terrifying. I crashed
There's a
into a
lot of
tree with my
penetration
bike
in this
like
movie.
this.
Did you really?
Yeah, there was a tree. It was I don't remember how old I was. I had just learned how to ride a bike. I was a late, like when it came to riding a bike, a two-wheeler, it took me a while. I was probably like 5.
It's okay.
And I was riding in the
Normal
woods. I was riding in the woods at the woman's house that would babysit me. She lived like in the woods. She had all this land, and I was riding
Nice.
the bike, and I didn't realize that the bike had the pedal brakes. So I was trying to be cool to try to do the back. You know, when you're riding your bike, you like
Oh,
pedal backwards. It
yeah.
doesn't do anything. Well,
Yeah.
this one had the brakes on it, so I was going really fast, and then I hit him, and I just flew off the bike, and there was a tree. It was like an old pine tree that was missing a bunch of branches, so it was just these little, like, I don't know, foot-long spikes sticking out of this thing, and I just went head first right into one.
Did you die?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Did you
Yeah.
got
Oh.
better?
I still have some wood like embedded in my head. No, I'm just kidding. I
Dude,
just
that'd be awesome.
I hit it, and I just had a big old egg on my head for like 3 days. It was good times. Good times.
So weird thing about things being embedded in people, non-sexually. Just want to point that
Okay.
out. It's not what we're
For a
talking-
change.
My grandma had a piece of lead in her leg for like 30 years.
Wow.
In her knee. Random thing.
Wow.
Yeah. Hey, listen, hold time out. Biking accident stories, real quick. One time I was riding down a bike. It was wet. Fun times, right? It just rained. You might as well ride your bike without shoes. Foot in the bike chain while I was driving.
Oh,
Foot in the bike chain into a tree. Yeah, that was fun. That was an open wound for like 2 weeks. Ugh.
I wasn't riding a bike, but I was on roller skates, and I forget how they were related to us, but he was riding my bike and pulling me behind him, and we decided to go down a hill, and I got scared, and I let go, and
and
I
you're
have a
like,
scar on my knee.
not stopping.
I did that once.
I did, and I
From
rolled.
Goonies.
Okay, now you got to have one, Joey. You're a skateboarder. You got to have a story.
I mean, boy, I have a lot of them. I can't.
You've
There's
just been
not
aced.
one that fucking like sticks out.
One.
I probably
you,
the worst. I was just talking about this actually, believe it or not, because I took a girl on a date to a roller rink and we were going around in circles for hours. So I just started talking about random shit. So I was telling her about the worst fall I ever had on a skateboard, and it was there's this trick called a frontside board slide where you jump up and you go backwards down the rail on your board. So you're going backwards down the stair set, and it's a 15 stair set. And I fell. My board clipped at the top, and I fell down 15 sets of stairs and hit my back on the concrete. I must have been fucking made of rubber back then. But I remember I couldn't fucking move my body for days. And ever since then, I never did that trick. To this day, I'll never do it again. Ever. Which leads me to my next question before we get back on track here. When the fuck was the last time all 1, 2, 3, 4 of us as grown adults, well, I'm not grown, but I'm an adult. When was the last time we all ran full speed? Because I can tell you mine, probably when I was like 15. It was the last time I ran full speed.
Were you butt ass naked?
No, but I wish.
Oh, don't think it's the wrong way. That's what I was thinking. Sorry.
I do like being naked. When was the last time you ran full speed? Like full speed?
It's been a while. Probably high school.
A long time. Because I
Isn't that
can't run anymore.
crazy?
Probably in the last year.
No for what?
Well, I used to run on the treadmill and stuff, and we fuck around. Like I'm a pretty light,
Not
agile
us.
dude. Not like that.
I was like, wait, hang on a
that's to the bed or chandelier. That's not like running.
You
like,
ran full speed
Just
on the treadmill.
full tilt. Not like on the treadmill, but I have run, like I do some stuff on the treadmill, but I have like we were fucking around at work or doing something. I know I have in the last year where I just fucking full tilt, just hauled ass.
Now the reason I ask is because if I was being chased by the miner, like if I was trying to get out of the window of the grocery store, I was thinking like, dude, when was the last time I ran full speed? I wouldn't be able to do it. I'd be able to run for 5 seconds and I'd be like, dude, I physically can't run anymore.
Yeah, believe me, it was a short stint. I'm not saying like I could go for fucking ever.
No, because I'd step wrong with my bad foot and I would go down.
Yeah, roll an ankle and you're like, I'm done. I'm dead now. Just end it.
It's just an interesting thought.
No, it really is because it really has. And it could have been that or me and my like Victor, because my son's competitive. My oldest son's or our oldest son's competitive. And like it could have just been one of those. Like I could run faster.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
He can, I'm sure. But
Just for this,
like
I'm gonna fucking wake up tomorrow morning and I'm gonna run full speed to my dumpster in the parking lot just to see. Just
warm
to see
yourself up a little bit. Don't pull something.
Well, I just have to pretend like, what if there's a killer behind me, a miner, if you will?
No, I'm gonna do it. Like at lunchtime tomorrow. I'm just gonna fucking haul ass. I'm just gonna
run as fast as you can and let me know.
No, I'm gonna do next time. I don't know where we're.
I'm gonna end up getting a call. I've rolled my ankle.
Oh, dude. Oh, God, it'd be so funny. I'm gonna do it at work so I can say something happened. No, so I'm literally just we're gonna go to a job site. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna stop the van, get out, and just run, and not say anything to anybody.
Oh gosh, please have Dennis in your van.
Oh my,
you.
no, we probably wouldn't be, but it would be fucking hilarious.
Because he'd be like, "What the?"
Oh my God, if I would, dude, that'd be so good. That's a good question, though. This is for the audience too. It's for anybody that listens to us. Let us know the last time you just like balls out ran.
I am not going to try and
speed.
run.
Yeah,
just saying.
Stink bug.
All right, we can get back on topic. I just needed to know that answer.
That's a great question.
When I was watching the movie.
So Sarah escapes the truck after it crashes. She goes to that abandoned house that we have seen a couple times already. She finds Megan's chocolates on the bed, but she also finds an entire closet full of these chocolate hearts.
Which I
finds the
don't
picture.
understand, by the way. I don't get that. I don't get what the symbolism is for that.
Also, with the picture of her and Tom that Axel was like pissed off about earlier in the movie.
Joey, to answer your question about the symbolism with the boxes of chocolates, this isn't done as well in this movie as it was in the original one. The killer sent a lot more Valentines.
Yes.
To the sheriff in the original. It wasn't just like the one at the beginning with Harry and the one at the and whatever's going on with this part of the movie. It's way more developed. It's just like a callback.
Yes. Seriously, you definitely should watch the original, by the way.
Again, yeah, it's 100%
it's fantastic. So this is when she finds all these chocolates, this is when Sarah is like, "Oh, I think Axel is the killer. Like, why would he have all this? This is weird." So but then the miner shows up and attacks her, and she is able to get the hell out of there. And she then gets to the mine. She goes in. We get the whole locker room reenactment from the original, where all the uniforms are like falling from the ceiling. It's not as effective because then you get the cool shower kill in the original, which you don't get.
Yeah, it's wet. Yeah, it's better in the original.
So Sarah thinks it's Axel just based on all that information, and then Tom slips up by mentioning Megan and the message that was written over Megan's body. She's like, "How do you know anything about that?" He's like, "Well, you told me." And she's like, "Nope, I didn't."
Yep.
And so that's when Tom's like, okay. But then this is when Tom starts to snap because he sees the miner walking up behind Sarah, but no one else sees it. So you're like, oh, okay. So then you find out that he is the miner. Like, it's all been in his head. He is like, either he's possessed by Harry. It's never fully explained. All it shows is all of the situations where all of the kills throughout the movie that Tom was involved. You know, it was him, like, pretty much after every kill, he would like get out of this weird trance and he would rip off the helmet with the mask, and it was him and all that. So, but there's no explanation. So it's either he just kind of snapped and is having this schizo moment, or he is being possessed by Harry Warden because Harry Warden is actually dead.
Right. It seems like it's maybe the possession.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because his voice changes.
Yeah, and then like it's when like Harry is like standing and like fades into him.
Yeah.
You're like, okay.
But also doesn't Axel say like sense. Hello, Harry? And he like looks at him all weird and says something.
I'm still here.
Yeah.
We also I didn't even think about that. I thought it was like some trauma thing.
I did too.
Yeah. It's not explained, so it's kind of, I guess, up to your interpretation on what it could be.
That's fair.
So also, we see a scene earlier in the movie of the interaction between Tom and Harry before the explosion happens, because it's literally Tom going, or Harry's giving him shit, and he's like, "I know how to do my job," and Harry's like, "Bullshit, you do." And then 5 seconds later, the explosion happens, which is caused by Tom. But also, is it supposed to indicate that maybe Harry had something to do with it and he was trying to set Tom up just so that he could kill people?
Maybe.
Oh.
Like Harry was a killer the whole time, even before the accident?
This was like his way to do it, because they say at the beginning, like, there was the cave in, and it was 6 people, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the other ones died of a pickaxe wound to the head or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, they were saying that because like they said like he killed them for their oxygen or whatever.
Yeah, to save himself.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of like what ifs in this.
Maybe that's his
I kind of dig that though. I kind of like a movie like that. Like everything's not spelled out for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I think I like about. I mean, I like about the original, and then the way they kind of did their own thing in this one a little bit.
So Tom attacks Axel, stabs him. Sarah shoots at Tom. We get the whole thing where Tom like disappears, just like Harry did at the beginning. But then he comes out with the pickaxe and he's doing the iconic hitting the lights. Like he walks up, he smashes the light out. But I do like, at first I was like, this is kind of lame because I like the whole miner outfit and I wish he was in it. But I like the fact that it's flipping between Tom and the miner. Like every time he smashes a light, it flashes the miner's suit. I was like, okay, you made up for it. Because in the beginning I was a little like, I don't really care for this. But that whole transition was pretty cool.
Well, I will say this, during the struggle between Axel and Tom, she did have opportunity to shoot where she should have had a decent shot on Tom.
Yeah.
However, I don't know how trained she is. She may not have been comfortable, worried she was going to hit her husband.
That was a big gun,
but
too.
it did, and they did count the rounds right, because I was counting them, and you have one left. I was like, they're on it. And so, but I'm going to dial that back and wonder if fucking Axel is just like a fetishist, and he's just like, I love wheel guns. Why the fuck do you have a wheel gun in this day and age? That's what I want to know. Like,
because it looks cool.
And that's fine. But then you're like, you got 6 shots. Carry a Glock, and you got like 15 to 17.
Dr.
But
Loomis
you know
shows
she
up.
wasn't trained.
6 times, Sheriff. 6 times.
If Loomis had a Glock, he could have shot him more than 6 times.
Yep.
Just saying. Then we wouldn't have sequels.
She wasn't trained because she only held the gun in one hand.
Oh my God, that scene where she's like, she has it like 2-hand, like kind of teacupped or whatever with the revolver, and then it cuts Renee later, and she's like, lady, fucking please 2 hands. You don't know what the fuck you're doing at this point. Please 2 hands. Anyway, go ahead.
So she blows up Tom. She shoots the like oxygen tanks that are like lined up.
Yeah, it goes through him.
Yeah, it like which I
cool.
like that. I do. Yeah, we got our last 3D shot of a bullet coming out of the gun and hit him. It blows
I didn't
him
like
up.
that, but I did like it going through him.
Yes, it was cool. I did enjoy that. And then you think he's dead. And I also thought Axel died. Like I remember the last time I watched this, I thought he died, but he doesn't. He survives. Sarah survives. And then you see a like rescuer go in there to find any survivors. He finds Tom, and Tom gets him with the pickaxe through the mask.
Another 3D.
Another 3. Okay, so I guess that's the last 3D shot we get.
Yeah, I forgot about it too.
He steals the outfit. He comes crawling out. First thing my wife goes is, why isn't he burnt up? That was a big explosion. How is there no burn marks on him at all?
Point.
He's just got a little bit of blood. He's a little gimpy because he got shot. But other than that, his whole side of his face, you should be Two-Face walking out of that goddamn place.
That's a good point.
But that is 2009's My Bloody Valentine. I guess there was a sequel in the works, but I guess because of the mixed reviews on this initial movie, and I guess it just took too long to kind of bring it to life, they decided to shelve it. So
just shocking, because it seemed you said it made like $100 million or something at the box office.
Fuck ton of money
on a $14 million budget. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and all these movies out there that make pretty good money and have garbage reviews, and they still get sequels.
Yeah,
so
just spend $18 million on it, so you got a couple of extra mil, and then just make a sequel.
Also, shoot it in 24 frames, please. So it doesn't look like this.
Stop with the you'd save money if you didn't use the 3D as well.
Yeah,
that was literally like my least favorite part about this movie was just how it looked visually. It just looked so jarring. It was like, why is things so smooth? But yeah,
I feel like though that's like what Remake should be. I really enjoyed this film. I mean, comparing it specifically to the 2009 Friday the 13th movie, this is like fucking gold compared to that.
Oh, that hurts. I love the Friday the 13th remake. That movie rules. Oh, what do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about this?
Like the movie. I didn't like the 3D parts.
Yeah.
They could have just not done those.
It was that time. It really was. It was the popular time. Yeah.
Product of its
time. It probably wouldn't have been so bad watching it.
Thanks, Avatar.
At that time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What about you, Dan?
I did like this movie. I will say the beginning was kind of rocky for me. I was like, oh no, I'm not gonna like this because everybody's like, we talked about it, like people spoke somewhat highly of it. We started at the beginning. I'm like, like some of the the decisions by the characters early on, like the trips, the falls, the board thing, the way it was filmed. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this.
I forgot.
But as it went on, it grew on me. Of course, it borrowed the base concept for the most part, and then kind of did some of its own thing. And I kind of I kind of was hoping it would do the twist where Tom wasn't the villain, but it's fine that
they wanted to do it because they didn't want it to be the same ending as the original, because in the original Axel is the killer. So
yeah, And that's fine because like the way it was going, like I was like, okay, because he got locked up, it couldn't have been him.
Also,
right?
wasn't
Like, he's
Axel
clear.
in the original? Wasn't Axel's dad the one who owned the mine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he went crazy because that's why because they saw his parents get killed by the miner.
Right. Yeah.
But I like their own twist on it. Like after I'd say like the first third or so, I was actually invested in the film. I cared about what was going on, and I thought it was pretty good. I still like the original one more. The kills were good. I was not expecting the lengthy titillation in the film. It's whatever, but I thought it was great and it made for a bit of a laugh for me. And yeah, it was enjoyable. I think it's worth watching. I need to go buy the original for sure.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm going to
definitely.
buy this one, but
Definitely.
Yeah.
yeah, this is fun though. I do recommend it. It's on Tubi. Just watch it.
Yeah,
for
I know
free.
that the original just got a 4K release from Shout Factory last year. I think Movie Dumpster mentioned it in their episode they did. I grabbed the Steelbook. I think it's just a regular Blu-ray, but I mean, from a movie from 1981, it's still going to look good.
G'day.
I enjoyed this movie. I just my complaint, and I just mentioned it, is the fact that it just looked weird at moments, like the Lifetime look to it. It just was kind of just, I don't know, it just didn't feel right. It didn't feel like this is a movie that was in theaters. Like this looks like a movie that I could watch on Lifetime or, those other Hallmark channel. It's just so shiny and weird. It just, I don't know. The kills were awesome. Even the 3D ones, it was a product of his time when it comes to the 3D aspect of it, but the kills are really cool.
Yeah, they are.
I think I just enjoy the lore from the original more than I enjoyed the lore in this one. I think they just kind of like cram it all into one little thing, or they kind of rush everything.
Yeah, it's a little bit more of a slower burn. The original, I think, was a little more calculated.
Yeah.
And plus, you got like the different gifts. Like he was getting more gifts and more gifts.
Yeah.
Instead of it just being like here's this thing that's kind of a nod to the original.
It felt like, it was a classic slasher where this one it felt modern.
2000s.
Yes. And some of the performances were weird, and some of the plot lines, the fact that like some of the plot lines just kind of get thrown to the wayside, and you're just like, oh, all right, guess that doesn't matter anymore. Don't need to care about Megan's pregnancy anymore. He did.
Yeah, what was the fucking point of that?
Yeah. Other than that, I think it's a good time. I think it's one of those, it's a popcorn horror movie. Just, you're not really going to get super invested in much that's going on screen other than the miner going around killing people. So it's a good time. I would definitely prefer the original over this one. But I still think I think it does its job as a remake.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it could have gone way worse, people.
Oh my God.
Way worse.
Way worse. All right. Well, now we are going to go over to social media and see what you all had to say about this movie. We are going to start over on X.
Ooh.
Where we had one response from Jesse, or at Mr_J300, who said, though it's been a few years since I've seen it, I like it. Hey, simple as that. Sometimes you gotta get those simple response, baby. Our next one is going to be over on Instagram, where we have a few responses. Our first one is from Big Optimus 33, who says, this is a great remake. Can't go wrong with Jensen Ackles. Epic Film Guy says it's a blast. Anna, or Nerd at the Movies, says, a damn good remake, and let's not forget the eye candy that is Jensen Ackles. You're not
Was that
wrong.
Also an eye pun?
Could be.
Maybe.
It works.
Well, Anna, tell
Maybe
us if that
maybe
was an eye
it
pun.
was, but I don't know. I mean, she could have meant it that way. Who knows?
I don't know.
Mouths of Madness. I'm a huge fan of the OG from 1981, but this one isn't bad. A fun watch for sure, especially if you've seen the original. Dave B. Movie says, I enjoyed it, probably do a rewatch. Think I own the 3D version. Boy, I gotta slow down when I read. Dewey Podmonster says, not bad. It has blood, but probably needs a few more Valentines. I think you're right.
Yes.
There wasn't enough Valentines in this one.
I thought you were going to say nudity. I was like, dude, that one scene just covered.
It covered like 6 movies. It's fine.
Yeah. It's fine if you wanted more, but I think we had the quota.
Big Bad Wolf 884 says, I love the 1981 original, but the remake isn't too bad. As for my favorite remake, well, I'd say it's the 2010 remake of The Wolfman, which I actually enjoy. Such a great werewolf designed by Rick Baker. I did ask in the post what their favorite remake was. And this was the only person who responded an answer. So thank you, Big Bad Wolf 884. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And it's topical to your name.
City Loves Pudding says, love how bonkers this movie is.
Pretty bonkers.
We do. We definitely do. We have one over on Blue Sky from our good friends over at Woods Podcast, or Podcast in the Woods, who says, it's a really fun slasher that definitely feels of its time. And we definitely mentioned that. So
yep.
Thank you for that. And then I actually posted it over on a little app called Slasher. It is a horror-focused social media app. So I said, screw it. I'm going to post over there. And we got a couple responses. I asked, how do you feel about the 2009 My Bloody Valentine? Our first one is from Hospital Massacre VHS. I'm not even a fan of the original, so I never saw the remake. The kills were good and the idea was original, but the characters drove me nuts. Too country bumpkin. I don't mind getting to know victims. I love cheesy slashers, but this batch just drove me nuts. You asked, sorry. And I said, hey, I appreciate the honesty.
Hey, we're kind of country bumpkins, so like, I'm offended, but that is your right to believe that.
I'm slightly offended, but that's
welcome to America, baby. Assuming.
Our next one is from Colobos51, who says, I actually like it more than the original and appreciated it being more plot heavy than the average slasher without sacrificing a gore. More Tom Atkins would have been nice, though. And that is such a truth. And then we had one from Carol1969 who just said, I liked it. You know what? Appreciate that.
Nice. I wish Tom Atkins would have been the killer at the end. That'd been so funny. How did you do it, Tom Atkins?
We actually have some thoughts over on the Discord, because yes, we have a fully fledged Discord now that you can join.
Titties and everything.
That you can join if you're part of our Patreon. We have a few. We got Give Me Back My Action horror movies, who just says, watched it again last year and completely forgot how completely bloody the remake was. It is very, very bloody. Let's see. Old Man Brad just saying how much it rules. We got a bunch of just people just showing love to other horror remakes that hopefully we will be covering at some point in the future. So yeah, there it is. Those are all our responses to My Bloody Valentine 2009. Thank you so much. Make sure to follow us on all the social medias. We are on X. We are on, I'm trying to remember the ones that were just Dissect That Film, because on Instagram and Threads, we are Dissect That Film's pod, and then everything else, we are Dissect That Film. So you can follow us on all those different social media apps. They're all in our link tree, in the bio, in the description of the video, all that fun stuff, where you can participate and share your thoughts on whatever movie we're going to be covering. So yeah, do that. And if you want to be part of our Discord, just go over to our Patreon, patreon.com/dissectthatfilm, and you can join at the free tier and get a link and be a part of the Discord. So that's cool. Yeah. I'm slowly building it, so it is not just two little things. There's a whole bunch of stuff in the Discord now, which is pretty sweet. So, yeah. Now it is time for our wonderful guest to share where they can find, or where people can find them is more what I should say. Joey, you've been here many, many times. People should know who you are, where to find you, but we got to do it. So share with everybody.
If you want to find me, go to youtube.com/officialJoeyC. A lot of goofy stuff out there. Recently, I covered examining the quality of restaurants in the wonderful world of Monster Hunter World. And next, I'm revisiting the 2000 classic film, The Flintstones in Viva Rock Vegas. Can't wait for that one. Classic film there, folks. That's going to be a good one.
Classic.
Tony from Hack the Movies is cringing somewhere.
I'm cringing right there with him. Oh, yeah. All of Joey's links will be down in the description. Make sure to check them out. It is worth your time to hit that subscribe button over on YouTube and watch those videos, because he puts a lot of work into them and they're hilarious. So
thank you.
Check them out. Sometimes you get to see my face over on some of his episodes. So
true.
That's an extra bonus for you. Next week, everybody, we are continuing our sequels to movies we've covered on the show month, as we covered Alien Romulus to finish off that franchise for now. This was a little special Valentine's Day episode, so this doesn't count. Next week, we're going to be covering a sequel to a movie I didn't think we were going to cover the sequel to, but Dan said, this is the sequel I want to talk about. And that is, I don't even know what year it came out. What year did this come out? 1991, 1990, I think. I don't know. We're covering Alligator 2, The Mutation. Very excited about that because I didn't think I was going to be watching this movie anytime soon. But if you want to prepare yourself for our conversation on Alligator 2, make sure to go back to season 2 and listen to our Alligator episode. It's a good one. And also, I believe both movies are on Shudder right now. So there's many ways you can watch both Alligators on the streaming sites there.
There better be 2 alligators in this movie. I'm just saying. There better be 2 of them.
Oh, man. Also, by the time this episode has come out, you believe there should be a Monster Zone episode. I don't know which one it's going to be, but we have 2 Monster Zone episodes out this month. You're going to be getting an old Monster Zone episode out of the vault from our Patreon, where we'll be talking about the Black Scorpion from 1957. And then our brand new episode of the Monster Zone, which will be coming out at sometime later in the month, is going to be on Ape from 1970. Seven. It was somewhere in the 70s. It is not It is not a King Kong movie. It literally says it on the poster.
No, it is not.
But that episode will have one of our new co-hosts, Mikey. I'm very excited about having him on the show. So we got a lot going on this month. So check all that fun stuff out. Joey, thank you so much for being here, man. We appreciate you very much.
Thanks
as always.
It's always fun.
He's coming back soon, everybody, because we got St. Patrick's Day coming up, and Leprechaun 3 is right around the corner. So Joey's going to be back very, very soon. So you won't have to miss him for too long.
Hell yeah. I forgot we're doing that. We agreed to that last year.
Hell yeah. You are the holiday man. You are the Leprechaun man. You have to be here for holidays. You have to be here for a Christmas movie.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man. Last but not least, we want to thank our wonderful patrons over at patreon.com/dissectthatfilm, where for a single $1 you can support us, and you get early access to episodes uncut. So you get a bunch of juicy extras inside those episodes. They're a little bit longer, but just all the side tangents and early stuff. It's a good time. You should go over there and support us. And then we got some other things we're kind of in the works with. So if you want to support us financially, you could do that over at Patreon. If you can't do that, make sure to go to all the podcast apps that you listen to, whatever one you do, leave us 5 stars, leave us a review. It really helps us out, gets us into more ears, because that's what we want to do. We want to grow this show. We want to, have more people listen to us and hopefully like it. So
yes,
there it is. If you want to watch the show, see us in video form, you can go over to youtube.com/dissectthatfilm. And make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure to like, comment, and all that extra stuff, because it's all free and it really makes me feel good. Our YouTube is actually doing pretty decent. We're trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers, so help us out. All right, I think that's it. That's the least favorite part of the show is over. The last thing, though, is to thank our wonderful patrons. We have Billy Joseph Jr., Andrew Schoening, Bucket of Chum, the Shark Movie Podcast, Corey Morissette, Daniel Collins, the Flicks and Friends Podcast, Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming, Anna Presley, Doom Generation, Eric Stein, Jason, Robert Stewart, Rudy5453, and the Baron's Hideout Podcast. Thank you so much for supporting us over there on Patreon, and thank you to everybody else for just supporting us, period, because we love you, and that's just how it be. We appreciate you very much. And until next time, I am Brett Parker. That is Dan and Angela of DNA Gaming, and that is the official JoeyC. And this has been another episode of the Dissect That Film Podcast. We'll see y'all again next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Will you be my Valentine?
No.
My Valentine? I got some Valentines in the back. I'll get them for you. What's your name again? Goodbye.